Okay, thank you.
Mhm. And when my recording is done, I'll be putting it up on our ParentSquare webpage so that people can access it.
Okay, thank you.
Just letting a few more folks in. I'm going to give you all a minute if you would like to download the app for iOS or Android. These are the QR codes to use. You can also go into um, either the App Store or the Google Play and search for ParentSquare Beaverton. And what you're looking for is you're looking for the app that has the bee in our Beaverton School District logo. It's kind of a yellowy color. They've done a custom app for us, and that is the one we recommend you use just because it's easier to make sure you're using the right one. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. It's just me today. I don't have a sidekick with me, so bear with me. If you can put your questions in the chat, that would be great, although I'll probably get to answering them sooner or later. So we might just want to wait until the end. If you would like to follow along on your phone in the app, you can certainly do so. ParentSquare has an app, but there's also a desktop version. When I go through the screens, I'll be showing you both versions. My name is Carrie Young. I am the District Communications Coordinator and the resident ParentSquare expert. So what we're going to be doing today, more people in, sorry about that. Again, I'm doing solo. We're going to talk about what ParentSquare is, why we use it, what is good to know for you as a parent guardian, the different ways we communicate through ParentSquare, how to set up your account and contact verifications and your notification preferences. I think it's important to note that you don't have to do anything in order to receive ParentSquare messages from us. You are automatically included and opted in when you register your student in the Beaverton School District. Really, when you want to register or log in is when you want to interact with us. If you want to change your notification preferences, you're automatically opted in to email and text. But maybe you don't want text. Maybe you've got the app and you want to change it to just the app. There are different ways you can manage those preferences, and I'll show you that here a little bit later. Also, if you want to sign up for conferences, a lot of our schools use ParentSquare for conferences or a Close for Kids appointment, or you want to have a conversation, like almost like a group text message with your partner and maybe your student's teacher and their counselor. there are different options for that. And I'm going to just go through all of those. Okay, so why we use ParentSquare? ParentSquare is basically one big tool that you can get most of your information from your school. You can toggle through and see your students and their schools. ParentSquare also is automatically translated into your language that is in our student information system. So if you speak Spanish at home and that's in our system, when you log in or your very first message from us will be in Spanish. And if it's not in the right language, then you would need to contact your school in order to get that changed because you can change it in the app, but it gets overridden every night. So we sync our student information system to ParentSquare nightly. So if you were to register your student today, tomorrow you would begin receiving ParentSquare messages and you would be in our system. You can see the main feed is much like a social media feed. Those are all your posts, and I'll get to what a post is in a minute. Another reason we like to use ParentSquare is because of our two-way communication. So you can send a direct message to your student's teacher in your language. The teacher will receive it in their language. They can respond in their language and it'll be translated back into your language. So it's really opened up a wider area of communication for families that speak languages other than English. Okay. As I said, there are multiple ways to communicate with families. There's the main feed that's posts. That's kind of like, think of it as like your school, like what's going on, snapshot of your school. Um, and then there are also emails and push notifications. So I could do a post about conferences coming up. It would show up in your feed here in your app or on your desktop. But then I could also decide I wanted to email you about that or text you about that. And again, you choose how you receive the communication. If you prefer an email or if you prefer a text or if you prefer an app notification. We also obviously have the text notifications up there, up here, and then the app, you'll get your little app notification thing down there if you've downloaded the app. Okay, so for notifications, you choose how and when. So when we go in to set your notification preferences, what you'll see is you'll see email, text, and app notifications at both the district level and the school level. So if you only were to receive emails from the district, except for an emergency, we'll get to that, but you can choose that just for the district, but you can still choose text for your student's school. You can also choose when you receive the message. So there's instant and there's digest. And I'll go through this later. You'll see the screen, it'll make sense. But instant means anytime we push out a notification, you get it right then and there. Digest means unless it's an emergency, we save up all of the communications and you get one digest message around 6 o'clock at the end of the day that has all of that day's messaging in it. Another thing that I talked about that we'll show you is that direct message feature where you can message any of the school staff, including the counselor or your student's teacher. Okay, so there are three ways we communicate through ParentSquare. The first is with posts. This is probably the most often. This is those everyday communications. So your principal will upload a newsletter. Your teacher might have a newsletter that maybe there's a fun science project that happens in the classroom. The teacher might take photos of that and do a post on those. They might remind you about homework assignments. Maybe they're doing an upcoming project and they need pipe cleaners. They might request pipe cleaners. They'll do their conference signups, so you'll get a notification that it's time to sign up for your conference. And you can also appreciate posts, kind of like you can like a post on Facebook. There's a little heart that you can appreciate a post here. So some families like to do that as well. I also talked about direct messages. So this is that two-way live communication. You can send and receive direct messages over text, email, web, or chat. So, for example, maybe I am a teacher and I want to contact a family and talk about sorry, my screen is acting funny. And there's some kind of issue with a student, and I want to bring the counselor in on that conversation. And I also want both parents / guardians to be involved. I can add everybody to this group message, and I have two options. I can have individual conversations with everybody, kind of like a blind CC, or I can hold one giant like group text message where everybody can see what everybody's saying. The nice thing about this is all these messages are two-way translated. So again, you're talking in your language, your teachers receive it in their language, and they're communicating back and forth that way. We see this a lot for school nurses. Maybe they have a question about medication. Our special education department uses this a lot if they need to reach out to a family. Parents will use it to let a teacher know that the dismissal plan has changed and dad's going to be picking up Teddy instead of taking the bus, those kinds of things. So that's kind of what direct messages are used for. Then there are alerts, and this is where your preferences could get overridden. We have two types of alerts. We have smart alerts. Those are important, but not emergency kinds of situations. So for example, when we send out the notification that it's time to verify your online information, we send alerts. And one of the differences between alerts and a post is we can send a voice message as well. And that's what like smart alerts, maybe there is a choir performance that's scheduled for 7 o'clock that night, but the power is out at the school, so we can't have the choir conference or the choir performance. You might send a smart alert for that. And for that, we probably would make sure we notified everybody all the ways. Urgent alerts, those are only actually able to be sent out from the district level, and those are for super critical emergency situations. So maybe a school has to close because of a gas leak, and we need to let you know that you need to pick up your students. Or there is a lockdown at the school and we need to communicate information about evacuation or reunification. That's when we want to use an alert. And again, we will override your preferences. So in that kind of a situation, if you only like to receive texts, I'm sorry, you're going to see an email, app notification, text, and a phone call if necessary. So we want to make sure that we get that information out to you. Okay, so now that I've gone over the ways we communicate, I kind of want to go over how you activate or sign in. And again, remember what I said, you don't have to do anything to receive the communications. You're automatically opted into email or text. But if you want to change that, and if you want to change the time of day, or if you want to sign up for a conference or anything, then you want to actually activate and sign in. So I have the two QR codes up here. And basically what you would do is you would scan one of those and you would put in your email that is in our student information system. That's really important. If you don't put in the right email or phone number, then it's not going to recognize you. Okay, so when you go into the system, it's going to ask you to confirm your contacts. So it's going to ask you to confirm your email and your phone. And then it will also send you verification codes, and it'll feel like you're doing this a lot because you'll have to do this not only for your contact information, but also for your student information. And what you're seeing here is a principal who I don't know why they put this slide in here, but basically it's a principal who also has students in the school. And then you're going to confirm your kids. So we want to make sure that we have the right students connected to the right parent. If we don't, we need to fix that. So for example, maybe Gloria Hernandez is also Gloria Hernandez Garcia. And maybe one student was registered with Gloria Hernandez and one student was registered with Gloria Hernandez Garcia. Both the students will not show up. So in that case, we would need to go back to the school, correct the last name information to make sure it reflects both of them. And then they would both show up connected to Gloria Hernandez. But you're gonna have to do this verification only this one time when you first register or sign in, and then you won't have to do it again. And again, just a reminder, I'm gonna put this copy of this recording on our ParentSquare page. So if you missed the first part or if you need to go back in and look at something, you'll be able to reference it. We also have a couple of new handouts that kind of walk you through these steps. And I will include those as well. Okay, so once we've gotten everybody confirmed, again, any information that's incorrect in ParentSquare has to be corrected in our student information system, so that then it can get updated in ParentSquare. That's the way it updates. It updates from Synergy to ParentSquare. It doesn't update from ParentSquare back to Synergy. That doesn't do that loop. Okay, so remember when I talked about how you can choose how you get your communications? This is where that is. So on the app, and again, if you're following along, great. If not, you can refer back to this later. But from the home menu, you're going to tap on those three buttons in the upper left-hand corner, the three bars. You're going to select account and notifications. And then you'll see on this screen over here, general announcements and messages. So this is from one school. I can choose email or text. I can't choose app because it looks like I haven't downloaded the app yet, right? And I can choose digest or instant for each of these. So maybe I want digest texts, but instant email notifications or vice versa. You can choose that. You can choose that also for the district level messages. So when we send out messages at the district level, you'll have these same options, email or text or not at all. I wouldn't recommend that because you will miss important information. And obviously we would override these preferences if it's a super urgent matter or an alert. And you can do these for each of your schools. So it looks like this person has a middle school student and they have an elementary school student. Again, maybe for my elementary, I might want instant text, but for my middle school student, I'm okay with digest. You can customize these. You can come back in and change them if you find that it's not working for you and you don't like receiving all of those messages, or maybe you want all of those messages. You can come back in and you can change these at any time. And this is basically just a screen that's showing you how to do it on the web version. So when you're logged in from home, you go up here in the right-hand corner to my account, and then you go to notification settings down here. And then you can choose, again, you'll have several rows. So you'll have one for Baxterville Middle School, you'll have one for Lincoln Elementary School, you'll have one for your district, and you can come through and you can customize all of those. All right, so any questions about what I've shared with you so far? I do want to point something out. Over here, when you're logged in, you'll see this little question mark guy. If you click on that, it's basically like their help section. It's really robust and it has a lot of good information on how to do things. So if you have a question about signing up for a conference, or if you want to know how you can see your calendar, or if you forget how to set your notification settings and you want to go back through and you want to look at that, you can do that as well. It's a good place to find other information for how to do different things that I maybe haven't gone over, because this is kind of the entry level ParentSquare training for parents. Are there questions? You can put them in the chat. Maybe I did such a good job. There are no questions, but it's usually not the case. No questions? Really? I'm going to give it a few minutes. If you don't have any questions, you are free to go. And I appreciate you all coming here. ParentSquare and ParentView, what is the difference? So ParentView is it's our student information system. We call it Synergy. That's where all of your student information is housed. And that's where like the grades and the report cards are. Think of ParentSquare as kind of like your like communication tool. It's your little backpack for how your student, how you're communicating with your school and your teacher on a daily basis. Typically, we don't use ParentView on a daily basis. At least I didn't when I had a student in the district. A question from Bonnie for the incoming kindergartners. The first week is a little strange. Yeah, it is. You'll find out what your child's schedule is in ParentSquare. So you can actually look on the calendar in ParentSquare. It feeds into your school's calendar, or you can look on your school's website calendar. But I think most schools wait until their kindergarten teachers get back so that they can kind of collaborate with them on how that breaks down. But typically what happens is on Wednesday, I think this is the way it works usually. On Wednesday, the student from last name A through L come, the kindergarten students, and the M through Z students stay home. Then on Thursday, the M through Z students come and the A through L students come or stay home. And then Friday, everybody comes. It kind of eases them into that a little bit. But you can check with your calendar on your school or your ParentSquare feed. That should tell you. If not, the schools are really good about sending out that information to the new kindergarten families. So Jennifer says, when I look under students in the ParentSquare, there are 2 students listed with the same name. Okay, so the summer profile, she sees 2 profiles for a student with the same name, one that says summer school and one that's just regular. The summer school profiles will disappear here shortly. Typically, we don't know necessarily what students are going to be participating in summer school. So there's a profile created for everybody, and that way those summer school programs can message with those families, but those will fall off here shortly. I think there are some schools that are still doing kindergarten academies where the kindergartners come for a week, and that might be why those are still in there, but those will go away. Other questions? No other questions?
This is Gaurav, parent of Rihan. So he's going to attend the school in US for the first time. So anything extra needed for that? Like he's already enrolled. So he'll be going into kindergarten. So I just want to know, like, curious about it.
So you have a student who's going to be going into kindergarten, and what is it that you want to know from me?
I want to know, like, he's attending school in US for the first time. So, like, anything needed for, like, he's good to communicate in English. So, other than that, anything extra needed for that? Like, he's going to attend for the first time in school in US. So I'm just curious about the process.
What school?
It's Almonica Elementary School.
Oh, Monica. So when you go into your ParentSquare, do you see any communications from Monica on your feed?
Download that app, and I'm trying to check over there then.
Hold on, let me get out of this. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for a second. And then I'm gonna pull up Monica's ParentSquare feed. Here again. There we go. Okay, so hopefully you can see my screen right now. And what you'll see is it looks like they have sent out a communication just on Friday with information about supply drop-off and meeting teachers, when the first day of school is. Let's see what else have they have in here.
Yeah, for the supply drop off, I want to know something like, I'm not used to this process. So supply drop off means for the student, whatever you need to use in school, we need to provide that to school. Do you need
Whatever they need, like school supplies?
Yeah, I don't know what is the supplies.
What's the list for this?
Yeah, I don't know what is this process. Can you give me some?
Yeah,
Right.
so let's see here. All the school supply information should be on their website under, let's see here, about us, supply list. If you come here, you'll see kindergarten. This is what they're requesting from kindergarten. Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, that would be help. Yeah, thanks. I was looking for. Okay.
So that's on their website under About Us and then supply list. And every school, for those of you, maybe you're not El Monica, every school should have that in the same spot. About Us and supply list. We wanted to make it simple for people to see. Now, high school, a lot of times high schools don't have supply lists because it depends on the courses that you're taking, and they just tell you generic, like, you know, notebooks and pens and pencils and that kind of thing. Other questions?
No, that is fine from my side. I think it's good. That's what I want to know. Thank you for.
Okay, well, if there are no other questions, I'm going to stop recording and stop sharing. Oh, an activation key for Parent View. If you call your school's office, they can give you that activation key for Parent View. Again, Parent View is different than ParentSquare. Okay, well, thank you for spending your lunch hour with me, and I will post this so that you can see it. Have a good day, everybody.